Touchdown of the hostages in an Israeli hospital after more than 120 days in Hamas captivity in the Gaza Strip. Israel just conducted a daring successful rescue operation in Rafah, the southernmost city in the Gaza Strip. This daring rescue operation is reminiscent of the 1976 Operation Thunderbolt, the raid on Entebbe. Although not of the same scale, but according to the IDF spokesman, they've had this intelligence for some time now. They've just been waiting for the perfect timing to strike.
This is a mission that we prepared for a long time. We made the necessary preparations and we waited for the right conditions to make it happen. I want to turn to those men and women, the hostages this morning. If you hear me now, you should know that we're very determined to bring you back home, and we will not miss any opportunity to bring you back home.
Today provided the perfect timing they needed to strike. Early in the morning, about 1 a.m., they started out by conducting an aerial strike on another part of Rafah. This strike acted as a distraction for the Hamas operatives. They were focused on the areas where they conducted the strike, and the elite forces that went in to rescue the hostages slipped into the compound where they were being held. In this building, they were being held in the second floor. In the apartment, 2 Hamas operatives were guarding the hostages. Inside the opposite apartment, there were several Hamas operatives also guarding the hostages. As the commandos entered in a clandestine manner, they had to use flash explosives. Bam! 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 These types can be blindingly disorientating. In the confusion that followed, they quickly demobilized the Hamas operatives guarding the hostages. They grabbed them. While they made their way to the armored personnel carrier, they came under heavy fire. They had to conduct another aerial strike to demobilize the Hamas operatives. In all this, only one soldier was slightly wounded as they successfully shielded the hostages from enemy fire until they got to the APC, which they eventually evacuated to a safe zone. From there, the helicopter took them into Israel. It was a very daring operation that brought these 2 men back to Israel and to meet their families after more than 120 days in captivity. Israel believes the remaining hostages, about 130 of them, are being held in Rafah. That's why they are determined to invade Rafah to conduct a search and rescue like they did in Khan Yunis and other areas of the Gaza Strip. Opposition to that invasion is mounting around the world, even from the US president. But Israel is determined. They've come up with an evacuation plan that will allow people in Rafah to safely move to other areas of the Gaza Strip to get out of the impending fire.
Victory is within reach. We're going to do it. We're going to get the remaining Hamas terrorist battalions in Rafah, which is the last bastion, but we're going to do it, and in this I agree with the Americans. We're going to do it while providing safe passage for the civilian population so they can leave.
This rescue operation somehow proves them right that more hostages are being held in Rafah. Despite ongoing negotiations for hostage release by Hamas, Israel always believes that the best way to negotiate with Hamas is by using force, making them understand that if they don't want to take it, they can always hit hard to take it by themselves. A few days ago, the Egyptians told Hamas operatives that they have 14 days to release all the hostages, otherwise the Israelis will come get them by themselves. Also, there is serious pressure on Qatar to expel the Hamas leadership living in Doha. This is because they do not exercise any leverage over them at all, despite supporting them financially, hosting them in their country, giving them every material support they can think of. But when it comes to returning the favor to Qatar, they become selfish. There's no need trying to play middleman when the people you are supposed to convince, hey, release the hostages, time is up. They always refuse. Why? You cannot win the war with Israel. This is the reality. So why can't they accept that they've lost and release the remaining hostages and everything will end immediately? Of course, they won't do that because they don't really care about Gazans. They only care about themselves and their objectives. This is coming after the IDF discovered Hamas servers under the UN building in Gaza. Is it possible for this kind of equipment to be under a building using their utilities? It seems impossible they didn't know about this. At least someone must have noticed the increase in electricity bill when the servers came online. Anyway, many countries have already withdrawn their donations to UNRWA because of the evidence Israel provided in the past few weeks. Thanks for watching.